Are we recording? Guessing we are, because I see red.
Yes.
Bloopers. Hi.
Well, get this shit out of my pockets, bro. Blackstone.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Blackstone.
Mr. Jones.
This chair isn't very comfortable.
You don't seem comfortable.
And not. Not here. All this.
Nice.
Let's do that though.
Better. It's much better.
Hi, I'm Cypress Jones. This is Blackstone.
The one and only.
Introduce me too, man.
Well, you just introduced yourself.
Okay.
I am Cypress Jones. This is Mr. Blackstone. Introduce me, man.
I'm sorry. Man. We've been homies now for a while. Both young creatives. So we're gonna ask each other questions. So Blackstone. What was the first time you ever felt sexually attracted to your own work?
Sexually attracted to my own work?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's very deep.
Depends.
It depends what piece of work you're talking about. If you're talking about the music videos, I'd say college. It was actually, as a kid, I picked up my first camera probably when I was 12, 13, 14. It was interesting. Just watching the beauty of the art coming together, the creative process, it was really stoking. So I was like, you know what? I really want to do this on a deeper level. I want to paint these pictures and tell some stories. So, started taking it more serious. But find the love of it. I mean, every project I love. There hasn't been one so far that I would say it has ramshackled me. I mean, all of them. Ramshackled.
For me, it was Lion King. I guess I didn't make Lion King, but I felt like I did. And I felt like Nala was my girl.
Wait, so you're telling me the movie Lion King inspired you? It gave you that creative inspiration? Because if you're talking about what movie gave you that spark to create, mine was Toy Story.
Toy Story made you sexually attracted to your own work? Okay, you ask a question.
Yeah.
My questions suck apparently.
Well, they don't suck. They're spot on, just very deep for the moment. My question to you, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Blackstone.
What inspired you to be a director?
Shit, man. I've been making movies since I was a very little kid. I mean, my parents had some type of camera, and I used to use my little Playmobil figures and Lego figures to make little stories, man. I still got all of them on tape. They're hilarious. And I used to do fighting movies between me and my friend Andrew too. And I just loved it. I loved Star Wars. All I wanted to do was watch movies all the time. So yeah.
That's dope.
But what actually got me into movies was I was in basketball camp because I wanted to be a baller. And it was my parents have always really supported me, so they put me in this all ages basketball camp that travels around the country called the Point Guard College, and super intensive week of basketball. And I saw this guy, and I thought I recognized him. I asked my dad when we were in line signing up. I'm like, who is that? He didn't know, so I sat by him at our first lunch and started talking about screenplay ideas that I had. I always had so many movie ideas. And he finally told me at the end of the week, he was like, yo, you were meant to be a director. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, my name is Malcolm Goodwin. Turns out he's a big Hollywood actor and director, and he was in one of my favorite movies, American Gangster.
Oh, man, I love American Gangster.
Yeah, so he's the guy who gets his head smashed in the piano. He's the one. Damn. Oh, poor guy. So yeah, he basically told me that he would send me a laptop if I promised to quit basketball.
Wow.
And be a director. So I got in the car after my parents spending $4,000 on this basketball camp. I got in the car with my dad and said, Dad, I'm a filmmaker. He's like, what? And I'm like, this Malcolm Goodwin is sending me a laptop. That guy I asked you about is a famous Hollywood actor and director. sending me a laptop next week. My dad was like, oh yeah, okay. Next week, laptop came in, made my first movie. Rest is history.
Beautiful. Kind of reminds me of the time where Gary Halverson, when I met him when I was cycling.
You cycled?
Yes, I cycled. I raced bikes. That's one interesting fun fact. I met Gary on a bike path. He had a flat tire, and I remember him saying, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, nah, you're not. So I gave him my last inner tube. Got to his place.
Your last inner tube?
Inner tube. You know the little things that go inside the bike?
Oh,
the tire, like
I
the
thought like the
tubes.
one that you went roller skating on.
Yeah.
No, not roller skating. On the water, wakeboarding. I thought it was that type of inner tube.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. Yes, continue.
But he kind of like, I don't know, he introduced me to being, a director, screenwriter, and he kind of like challenged me in a way. Because I really didn't think I had what it takes to be a director at the time. I was like, you know what, this is pretty hard of a job. You got to be like 1 in a million to make it.
Yeah.
And then he just gave me that creative spark, and he was like, you're different. Like, you have, music knowledge, you have the creative aspect. You can feel your movies off of your music. And I never thought of it that way until he told me. But he gave me this backpack, which I'll show you at some point. But there's a backpack I always wear when I go to meetings, when I go to my office. It's like, that's my backpack as a director. I don't go nowhere without that backpack. It's like my lucky backpack because it was given to me by Gary. And I always tell people, like, back away from the backpack because that's like the God. But that backpack gives me fuel, and it always symbolizes for me how far I've made it as a director so far, without going to college, without, paying the thousands of dollars, not owning the cinematic cameras and shit. It's just the basics,
Can I interject? Both of us never went to college.
Yeah.
It's a double negative or something.
It's a double negative, but it equals a positive.
It does equal a positive. Cheers. Look, if you need to go to college to motivate yourself to do something, then do it. It's worth the debt. It's totally worth it. Don't spit this knowledge about, it gives me connections and stuff. Yeah, it gives you connections, but what else gives you connections is being out in the world doing what you love. That gives you just as many connections as college. So if you love something, do it all the time. And if you don't have the motivation to do it, but you still know you love it, then go to college. That's basically it. I'm not dissing it. I'm not for it, but I already had, I had the inspiration to make my own movies, so I just made them.
I can't utterly say, like, I didn't go to college. I got a taste of it, like a semester, but,
I went to business school.
Right. Like, I took a taste, and, I just remember my professor telling us, you don't pass this final, good luck in making it in whatever perspective field of filmmaking you guys are getting into. And I'm like, really? You're going to tell me one test, dictates the rest of my life as a creative? And at that point, I failed the test on purpose. Like, I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to even be in this class right now. So I failed it. She put me aside.
That's how I felt every day in high school. Every fucking day. And let me tell you, man, if you know that you're not going to college, if I was speaking to young me, don't worry about high school. Get good grades for one reason. Not to impress anybody, but that so you can do what you want. I promise you, if you get good grades, your teachers let you do what you want, your parents let you do what you want. Like, you are free if you get good grades. So do it do it with the heart of freedom. Don't do it because your teachers want you to do it. That's stupid. If you get bad grades, everyone's going to be on your ass all the time. And we know as professional directors right now, you do not want people on your ass.
No.
It sucks.
It sucks majorly. I mean, for the most part, for me, going to school, getting an education wasn't like an option. It was like a forced mandatory thing. My parents raised us. You guys all have to at least get out of high school. We don't care what you guys do out of high school, but as long as you guys have a plan. That's the biggest thing I took out of life was make a plan. Whatever you guys do, make a plan. Whatever field it is in film, careers, make a plan and stick to it. People don't stick to their plans. They make plans and they kind of don't execute it.
People tell you make a 10-year plan. It's a good idea. But if you're like me, I'm too creative to make a 10-year plan. I'm like, well, I would want this, but I don't know where the hell I'm going to be in 10 years. That's true. You don't. But I bet you have a 1-year plan. I bet you know where you want to be next year. And I promise you, a year is shorter than you think, and 5 years is longer than you think.
That's true.
So You know, make a 1 year plan, make a 5 year plan, 10 year plan. I don't know. No one can see the future.
Can't.
Blah blah blah.